Okay, this is the first question. I'm going to go through the answers first. If you're good after that, you can stop the video, but I will also then go back and explain every answer. So this is a part two question from the Regents. I believe it's June 2024. First thing that they show you, they do have a passage here. Whether or not it's going to be relevant is up to whether or not, it depends on whether or not it's in the questions. But they show you an organic reaction. This organic reaction is the formation of an alcohol using an alkene reacted with water in the presence of a catalyst. So, first question, state the class of organic compound to which the product in the equation belongs. And I'm going to point out again that this just says state, it does not say explain. So don't go into anything extra. You need to be able to identify that the reactants are on this side of the equation and that all of your products are after the yield arrow. So they're asking you about the product. So this is your product. And the class of the organic compound is the category it's in. So the category that this is in, get this font down to a reasonable size. Sorry. Is alcohol. Now you would have to go to table R and match up the functional group of this compound with the functional group that you're finding on the molecule. So if you're paying attention, there's two ways to identify this functional group. One is to notice that there is no carbonyl here. So no Carl. Remember, Carl looks like this. And he's not there. So if you have just a chain of carbons with an OH group on them, that's an alcohol. State in terms of, all right, so we've got a lot of vocab here. In terms of carbon to carbon bonds means that that's what you need to talk about, the bonds between the carbons. State, again, means don't explain. And they want to know, why is this hydrocarbon unsaturated? So if you know your definition of saturation, you need to know two aspects of it. The first aspect of it is that, yes, it does have as many hydrogens on it as possible. But since they put carbon to carbon bonds, the second aspect of it is that you need to be focused on the bonds. So this hydrocarbon has bonds between these two carbons. That's what you're looking at. And so it has a double bond between the carbons, is why it's actually an unsaturated molecule. Okay, and then last but not least, identify. So again, identify means don't go crazy explaining anything. You don't have to tell me why you think that's the answer. You just need to tell me the element in the product of the reaction that allows it to be classified as an organic compound. So the answer is always the same. Yes, there is more information in the definition for the purpose of making sure you guys can tell the difference between an organic and an inorganic compound. But you want to stick to a single element here. It says identify the element, that is singular, not the elements. In the product, it's actually the elements in one of the reactants also, but they wanted to make sure you were only looking at one compound that makes this organic, and that is by definition carbon. So actually, I don't really have to explain much more. I explained everything as I went along. Um, so if you have questions about this, you may want to come to one of the Zoom lectures and we'll go over it there.